The Boston Celtics offseason talk has already begun. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Josue Pavon and Bobby Manning. Gordon Hayward's name is now being thrown in the mix with Victor Oladipo because the possible trade has been rumored. Gordon Hayward has 1 year left on his deal. He's expected to pick up that option given the money that he will make if he chooses to do so. But what do you guys think about these trade rumors and whether or not it would work out for either side?
Yeah, Jared Weiss, the Athletic, came out with a release saying that Victor Oladipo just wants out of Indiana and that Miles Turner isn't that far behind. So I think that's the part that has Celtics fans excited, and for good reason. Miles Turner is a 24-year-old rim protector. He can certainly run the floor. He certainly would fit a void that the Celtics currently have. But if we're talking about trading for someone like him and Oladipo, that's a lot of cap space. Obviously, the elephant in the room is Gordon Hayward. If he opts in, that sort of makes things easier for the Celtics. But then there's another half of it. What do the Celtics have outside of Gordon Hayward that would really make Indiana think, you know what? Yeah, take our best player and then take arguably our second best player, or the guy that we just signed, to a new deal. I mean, and that's another thing too. Like the Indiana Pacers, they're not crazy about that deal. He's been underperforming under his new contract.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the Pacers aren't, they're not reluctant in sending away Miles Turner. I don't think that's the problem here. I think the problem is, okay, if Oladipo wants out, sure, but let's get the biggest bang for our buck. If I'm the Indiana Pacers, I'm like, forget matching contracts. I mean, sure, yeah, let's do that, but let's also talk about Jaylen Brown. Let's talk about, the third or fourth best players on your team. I don't know if Gordon Hayward is going to get it done, especially with a 1 year left on his contract. And then what? He's going to leave you after that? Are you even going to be ending up with anything?
Well,
sure, have draft picks, but
the reason it makes sense just way is because Gordon Hayward's an Indiana guy, so you could perceivably talk him into making that move for him and his family and everything else. I mean, he went to Indianapolis for the childbirth. That's where he spent his time on the ankle.
No, I get it. It's cute, but for the Pacers, like you were trying.
I'm saying the pretext is there because the only way you can trade Hayward is if he's down with it because he has the option. So that's the only destination I think you could feasibly send him to. Now, when you talk about the logistics of the trade, I don't think the Pacers are moving on from Miles Turner easily. Like, he's just not going to be a throw-in piece here. That guy's a star. Right. I didn't love his performance with Team USA last summer, but I see the potential there when it comes to shot blocking, shooting, and leading the offense. What's interesting to me is that the Pacers do need to shake things up. And I think that's where this Oladipo trade request comes from, because they're not an organization that spends money. They're in contention. They just got swept by the Heat while they were in contention. So Oladipo is probably looking at, like, can I get some help here? Like, he's the only star there. I know they have the two good big men, but those guys aren't stars. So I don't think he'll actually be on the move. And when it comes to the Celtics, you're going to be giving up more than Gordon Hayward if you're going to try to get Turner too. So it's going to be a swap, and I don't think it shakes you up all that much. I think you like being a wing-oriented team.
And if you're Indiana and you're trying to make that jump, like you said, they're in contention, but if they want to become contenders, then are you going to also help out another team in the East who's also a contender?
That's the key point.
Yeah, let's help the team, let's help them with their fifth appearance of the Eastern Conference Finals, right?
And what certainty do they have on Hayward at this point? That's my thing too. Like, how certain are you that Hayward's going to help you coming off this grade 3 ankle sprain? They're going to have to see how he looks again. Hayward's value is not high. So if you're the Celtics and you're selling him, you're essentially selling low. And that makes it hard for me to believe they could get Oladipo for him too. It's a good idea, though. I love the trade idea. I love the conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree, Bobby. To your point, just one more thing. Yeah, I mean, I always looked at it from the second Gordon Hayward got injured again. It was like, okay, if that's an option down the road, trading Gordon Hayward and cashing in before he, his contract runs out, then that's going to happen mid-season because he's going to have to prove it. I'm sorry, it's like a broken record, right? Last 3 years. He's got to prove it again for, third year. Can he continue to play at that level? Can he produce those same numbers that he did throughout the course of the regular season? It looked really good, but let's face it, with the pandemic that happened, with the second injury, and then with what we saw in the postseason, people are really unsure once again for the 30-something-year-old Gordon Hayward.
Let us know in the comments whether or not you like the idea of this trade with Gordon Hayward and Victor Oladipo. And for all the rest of our Celtics coverage as we wrap up this season and head into the offseason. You can find it on our website at clnsmedia.com and on our YouTube channel at Celtics All Access.